Yes, guys, and welcome to the BORO vs Sunderland match review. So, before we do get into it, I just want to quickly say one thing. Come on! How are you, lads? Get the f*** in! Apologies, but yes, getting into it, guys. First and foremost, smash the like button if you're buzzing with that win last night against BORO, and subscribe if you are new. As usual, I'm saying it loads recently. There's so many of you guys that are watching regularly. You're hopefully enjoying the content and you're not yet subscribed. So if you do, it means a lot. It really does help out. So if you hit the subscribe button, we're going to win the league if you do it. Maybe. But yes, anyway, getting on with it. Of course, we did take on BORO. We did win 3-2. We started off with Pato in goal. We had the back four of Sirkin, O'Nien, Mepham and Trey Hume. We had Job, Rigg, Daniel, Roberts. We had Lefay on the left-hand side, and of course we had Isidore up top as well. Now, first and foremost, when I looked at that lineup, I did think, why hasn't he started Meander? I thought this game would be perfect for Meander to try and stretch the game, and he's looked really good, and I just thought it would have been an ideal time to bring him on. However, I can understand bringing Rigg as well. Obviously, he's a fantastic player as it is, but he's also got previous against BORO. He has the sort of ties with understanding the meaning of the game, and that's not to say it's a derby, alright, that's not to say it's a derby, but he has an understanding of it, and he might have that sort of more will and want and desire than other said players, you know, like Daniel and Patterson, who are of course from the area, or from Sunderland anyway, from the northeast, not Yorkshire. So they have a better understanding, and you know, all jokes aside, by the way, and I will just say this straight from the off, we take the piss that, you know, BORO is this big derby and it's like their big day out, and we just don't give it them type thing. You know, in fairness to them, it absolutely worked in their favour in terms of the first opening 10 minutes. They absolutely treated it with the intensity of a derby. Their fans gave it the intensity of a derby, and those opening 10 minutes, we could not match their intensity in any way, shape or form. They were miles ahead of us for the opening 10, as I say. Flying into challenges, wouldn't let us like take a break of the ball, wouldn't let us have a breather. We were constantly turning over possession because we were right in our faces, and they started off the better side. So again, in fairness to BORO, that intensity, we couldn't match them at first. And it was just all of them, and it felt like a matter of time, breaking down the right-hand side a couple of times, putting balls in the box ahead of it, sort of went straight at Pato, and maybe made a bigger meal of it than he should have done, arguably, because it was at a very good height. But he has parked away from danger. He's forced him into a save. Then we did manage to get it up the right-hand side. Roberts, at first glance, it looked like Roberts simply ran into a bit of danger. He got crowded out, then he just flung himself to the floor and started acting like he was shot with a sniper. And then immediately from that, it was a beautiful thread ball straight through the middle of our defence to their striker, who goes 1-on-1 with the keeper and just slides it past Pato, easy to make it 1-0. And I thought, we're in for it here. We're going to get absolutely battered. And I was fuming at Roberts at first, because obviously in the build-up to that goal, it felt like he just threw himself down to the ground and he was soft as shit. But then looking at the replay, I did change my mind. Don't get me wrong, they weren't horrifying challenges, but he was fouled twice. First man goes up to him and gives him a bit of a dig on the legs. Again, not too much, but absolutely was. And the second man, it's almost like a little kick towards the shin, almost a little bit higher up. Again, it wasn't like incredibly dangerous, but it was a foul. I think it was a foul. I think if Roberts didn't try and sell it as much as he did, the referee may have stopped it there, but he didn't. And anyway, they go and make it 1-0. And it looked like it was only going to go one way from there, because we did look so off it. We looked poor. And they really did look dangerous. You know, Whittaker, new man for them. Coming in off the right, he looked quite dangerous. But we slowly but surely started to work our way back into the game. And after that sort of opening 10-15 minutes of intensity from BORO, it seemed to just fizzle out, that intensity, as did the sort of... I'm not going to say the crowd lost its intensity, but it definitely wasn't as sort of aggressive and as hostile as it was in the opening 10, as you'd expect. And then we started to get a bit of control in the game. And as the half wore on, I felt the more we controlled and we looked better and we looked more dangerous and made half chances here and there. There was a plethora of chances for both sides throughout the game, by the way. So I'm going to miss a shit ton. So if you're thinking, oh, have you missed that one? A lot happened, all right? And this isn't getting done off a script. I'm just rambling but yeah, what I did like to see is after the sort of opening 10-15, as I said, after that intensity we just didn't match, We eventually did get there, but Dan Neil, for me, he became this man possessed. I don't think he started off with this level of intensity, but after that opening 10 and 15, as I say, he was so aggressive, and every time Boro got the ball, he was just flying into challenges, not just aggressive for aggressive sake. They were good challenges, but he's going in hard, he's working his absolute arse off, which you might be able to argue against for another few of our players at the time. Ball gets put in the box. It's a beautiful ball in from Lefay. So clever on that left-hand side, who, by the way, absolutely destroyed Ayling all night long. The amount of sort of first touch flicks around him when Ayling's in behind him, he'll flick it around him, he'll go the other way. He was doing it time and time again. Ayling must have had nightmares last night thinking about Lefay. But yeah, he pulled a brilliant ball in to Rig. He hits it first time, it's blocked. It falls to the edge of the box. It looks like it's going to fall to... There's two Boro men sort of contesting for the ball. Then Dan Neil just beats both of them, just physically just shoves them both away. Then he just pings it from 25 yards out. It takes a huge deflection off Edmondson. Otherwise, it was a fierce shot anyway. You know, it was a hell of a strike, but it would have gone straight to the keeper, you would think. Travers in goal, but it took a wicked deflection off the chest of Edmondson, who's tried to get a touch on the ball, and it's flung into the near corner to make it 1-1. So definitely a stroke of fortune, but at that point, I think we was well worthy of getting an equaliser. I did think that Eastwood did have a relatively quiet first half, a couple of offside moments, little half chances, but I felt like he struggled to get himself into the game. But second half, we come out flying, we win the ball in the middle, a good bit of tenacity there, and then Lefay with an inch perfect through ball for Eastwood. His run with time put to perfection as well. Gets in behind, one-on-one with the keeper. He has all the time in the world. And we're staring at the linesman because Eastwood even seemed to slow down at one point. Defenders are slowly starting to catch up, and I'm thinking, shit, is the flag going to go up? What's he going to do here? And I'm just thinking he's going to ping it straight at the keeper. He doesn't. He dummies it. He sits Travers on his arse, goes round him, and essentially walks the ball into the back of the net to make it 2-1. Outstanding goal. You know, and at this point, we did start to dominate. They came forward every now and then, but I felt like we really started to dominate. We really started to create chances, and I felt like it was only a matter of time before we made 3-1 at this point. But we give it away. We really did just throw away the lead, and we were really starting to dominate and control at this point. Now, I've seen some fans trying to dish blame to different players. Was it Job's fault? Was it 09's fault? I think it was a bit of both. But I only say that because 09 gets it in on that sort of edge of our own box, and he's played it into Job in a dangerous area. You know, Job has come deep for it, and he does have men behind him. And yes, I don't like it when our players do that, but let's not beat around the bush. Let's not lie. We do that exact same pass 20 times in a game, be it Dan Neil comes deep to come collect the ball, and yeah, he might have a man behind him, and yeah, we're in our own third, but what will happen is we'll put it to Dan Neil, and he'll put it straight back to the defender. The bloke who's followed Dan Neil in is now left a gap in behind, so we'll put it in behind. That's what we'd usually do. But yeah, so again, I'm not defending 09 for doing the pass. It was a stupid, dangerous pass in dangerous area, but we see it a million times every game. Job's come deep for it this time, as opposed to Dan Neil, as I mentioned in my example. He's come deep for it, but rather than just giving it straight back to Dan Neil, to Luke O'Nien, he's tried to spin his man, and he's got two Boro men behind him. So yeah, it was. I think it was a mixture of both. Job should not have tried to turn two men, and I always say, you know, Job loves to run into danger sometimes purely because he loves that physical battling, loves to try and wriggle between a handful of, or a group of opposition players, but there it just wasn't the time to do it. But equally, yes, you could argue 09 might have given it him when he's got two players on his back. But yeah, they nick it off him, and what a strike, it has to be said. I think it was Hackney, wasn't it? And it really was a fantastic goal. Patterson had no chance. Absolutely beat him. I don't think many keepers would have done much better with that. So yeah, 2-2. Which of course just allowed them back into the game, which was really, really frustrating. And it started to become a little bit more 50-50, a little bit more end-to-end. However, I still believed, personally myself, I could be wrong here, I know other people disagree, I still believed we had control of the game somewhat. And the reason I say that is because he did then bring on Samed. And I thought, oh, why have you done this, man? I thought, you know, if we're maybe 3-2 up, and even though it would annoy me anyway, to start throwing on defensive changes as we've seen in the past, I thought that would have been the perfect time to bring on a Mayenda or other players off the bench. We had plenty of attacking options on the bench. I thought that would have been the perfect time to bring Mayenda on, but then just a single substitution he's brought on Samed. And bear in mind, Boro have already made a handful of subs themselves, so they've got fresh legs on, and we're just bringing Samed on. And it felt very defensive, but what he did actually do is sort of calm the play down. But like I said, I feel like we already had control, so I didn't feel like it was necessary. But I can't disagree that he absolutely came on. He calmed the play down, and we sort of gained more control. But I just felt like we needed that bit of edge with a Mayenda up top, for example. However, like I said, Samed come on. I think he did very, very well. Broke up the play a handful of times, and he did calm the play down. It allowed Dhannoo to push further forward as well. And we made it 3-2. We made it 3-2. Eventually, Eastor did come off. Mayenda come on as well. And Mayenda had some chances of his own as well. You know, Mayenda at one point, he broke down the right-hand side. He's essentially one-on-one with the keeper, but coming in off a tight angle. Poveda coming as well. He smashed it straight at the keeper, Mayenda. He could have just laid it off for the rebound. I know he's a striker, so he's not going to. But when you have a look back at it, the ball comes straight back out to him. He could have just laid it off to Poveda for an open goal, or Joba would have an open goal. But he smashed it straight at the keeper again a second time. That should have been it. But we do break down the left-hand side. Lefay, my God, the ball's put over to him. The first touch, he's just managed to ping it round Ayling and then run and get at him. And he's fizzed it across goal really hard, loads of pace on it. And unfortunately for BORO, unfortunately for Giles, but fortunately for us, it's gone into the back of the net. Giles had just smashed the ball into the back of his own net to make it 3-2. And it's just absolute scenes, buzzing. And we could have made it even more. Samed, I was actually quite gutted when the game finished. Of course, I'm buzzing that we won. But Samed got it on the left-hand side, and he started driving down the left-hand side, which is kind of uncharacteristic. It's not really his sort of character, that, to be driving down the wings. He brings the ball down the left-hand side. Of course, the BORO team, they've got players push forward to try and get an equaliser. But then Samed finds Poveda one-on-one with the keeper. Surely he's going to put the ball in the back of the net. He falls over the ball. Totally unchallenged, falls over the ball, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, man. It was just piss poor, and that should have been it, really, to make it 4-2 and round off the game. But a very, very valuable 3 points away from home at BORO. Burnley play tonight. You know, I think they play Oxford. We're currently level on points with Burnley in third, with 3 points from second. So we're keeping on the pressure, and what a massive win that is. And the scenes at the end, you know, you've got Chris Rigg, as you can see here. Chris Rigg with the flag, with FTM on it, absolutely loving it. You've got E-Stories put his shirt around the corner flag, and he's running around waving it. It just absolute scenes. I just love this squad at the moment. And you know, at the end of the game, I think Isidore in his post-match interview, he credited this game, he dedicated this game to Mike Dodd. So yeah, but that's it, guys. A massive 3 points. If you've enjoyed, smash the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new. It will put a massive smile on my face. But for now, take care, stay jammy, away the lads!